About PSUs itself, on our corporate radar today is BEML. The company posted an overall good set of second quarter numbers, but more importantly, what does the second half look like for the company? A bunch of triggers ahead as well, increasing revenue coming in from more margin accretive sectors too. So we are pleased to have Shantanu Roy in our studio, who's the chairman and managing director of the company. Thanks a lot, Mr. Roy, for joining in, and thank you for joining us in our studio itself. It's been a phenomenal first half for you. Just wanted to know, what is it that you're expecting in terms of order inflow for the second half of this year? And you had earlier guided for about 25 to 30% revenue growth in this year itself. Do you maintain that? Can you beat that? What are your thoughts?
So, very good morning, and first of all, congratulations to CNBC. You will be celebrating, I understand, your 25th anniversary.
That's correct.
Very shortly. So, it has been a phenomenal journey for CNBC, and I've been an ardent follower of CNBC.
We thank you, sir, for being a follower, and thank you for being part of our journey as well. In the current financial year, we have done pretty well as far as the order book is concerned. We have got around 6,000 crores of order till the last month. And in the next 3 months, I see further around 3,000 crores of order inflow coming in. There have been a few pushbacks, few tenders which have been pushed back to the last quarter of this financial year, especially on the metro side. So because of that, the order finalization will happen in the next financial year. Because of that, I am expecting that instead of 17,000 crore of order book, ending the year with an order book of 70,000 crore, we'll end it around 14,000 crore, but we'll try to further improve by at least 1,000 crores. Okay.
As far as other numbers are concerned, so this is the time when the sales revenue also keeps increasing. And I can see that in the coming 4 months, we should definitely cross our last year's numbers. And we are hopeful that we will have at least a 20% growth over the last year's sales revenue. And if the sales revenue grows up, obviously the other numbers like the EBITDA, the return on capital employed, the asset turnover ratio, everything improves.
Okay, all right. Mr. Roy, good to hear that. So you're still optimistic that you can do a 20% growth. So for this year then, you're looking at a number in the mark of around 4,500 to around 5,000 crores of revenues?
Absolutely.
Okay, because of the first half of the year, you're still, just a small growth, just in low single digits. Tell us about your export proportion as well. As of now, what is it? But I think in a longer term, you're looking at upping that. So where does that number head to? And also, you'll be seeing operating leverage play out since you're going to see a big revenue growth. What is the margin band you're focusing on?
First, let me talk about the exports.
Yeah.
But before that, let me talk about, the Q1 versus Q2. So Q1 versus Q2 has definitely seen a lot of growth in terms of the sales revenue, in terms of the operating revenue. It has gone up by 14%. And our other numbers like the PBT, PAT, EBITDA, everything has gone up substantially. In fact, we ended the second quarter with the EBITDA of around 7.5%. And last year we almost touched double digits. So this year I can see a further growth of 200 basis points as far as the EBITDA is concerned. The exports, we have two components. One is the physical export, the other is the deemed exports.
Okay.
So if you look at the physical export journey, we start from 2019-20 to 22-23, we had a quantum jump of almost 10 times growth in physical exports. And if you talk about the physical exports for this year, the physical exports I expect further to go by around 50% as compared to last year's number. If you look at the physical plus deemed export, they make up around 20% of the company's sales revenue.
All right, so just to clear those a couple of numbers out there, 200 basis points improvement means for the second half of the year, you're working with margins of around 9.5%?
Well, when we end the year, I expect that we will end up above 11% as far as the EBITDA is concerned.
So the blended number, the average number for the year will be 9.5% is what you're trying to tell us?
Yeah.
All right. And, on rail and defense, that is close to 60% of your revenues right now. How much higher from current areas does this go? And will that further aid to your margins?
You see, last year, the revenue contribution from mining was the highest. It was around 50%. Rail did 27%, defense did 23%.
Right.
This year, till now, till our half yearly, mining has contributed 43%, rail 41%, and defense around 16%. Defense, as far as the revenue is concerned, it has gone down, but it is going to come up now in the next 2 quarters. So I expect that when we end the year, mining would still have contributed around 45%, and rail and defense put together will contribute around 55%. But this trend is going to change in the coming 2 to 3 years because of the high growth potential in both the rail and metro as well as the defense and aerospace sectors. Mining will also continue to grow, but maybe at a rate of around 5% to 8%, so mining will grow.
In the, say, next 2 to 3 years, how much will rail and defense be as a proportion of your overall sales?
You see, even after 2 to 3 years, mining will continue to be the single largest revenue grosser as a vertical with around 35%, and rail, metro and defense put together, it should contribute around 65%. So the rate of growth in both rail and metro and defense in aerospace will be higher.
Okay, just want a quick comment. At one point of time, the street was hoping that BEML gets divested. We haven't heard anything on that front. What's the latest?
You see, invariably that's probably the last question that I always get, but my answer remains the same. It's not for me to decide or for BEML to decide.
Yeah.
It's Deepam who are dealing with that. Our mandate is to grow and to grow the company at a pretty good level so that, all the numbers are good and the returns we give to our shareholders is the best.
You're focusing on business, but we just thought we'll ask you if if in case you had heard from Deepam or, anyone from the center with regard to the divestment. No progress as of now?
Well, that's for Deepam to answer. I'm not the right person to,
okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mr. Roy, for joining in on occasion of our 25th anniversary here and for your kind comments. Importantly, the street will like the fact that you still maintain that this year you'll go at 20% with a 200 basis points improvement in your margins, improvement in all your important verticals like exports, mining, as well as railway and defense. Thank you for joining in. With that, what we